Natalie here. It's been a minute that I've been here with you on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you. Today we are going to look at the Modwave. If you are unfamiliar with the synthesizer, it is a wavetable synth, but as always, let's start with some music and then we will get into some facts and then mostly covering different types of modulation on the Modwave and getting a nice sample of some of the presets or the performances, as this synthesizer calls it, and all the modulation that you can do within those preset performances. So let's go. Yeah, isn't that a sick sound? Thanks for being here. I'm Natalie, product specialist for KORG, and today we are going to look at the Modwave and particularly on modulation, hence the name, you know? So we are, that by the way, before I even get into any details, I just want to call out all the performances that I'm using today. That one was called Bad Videotape. You probably saw it on the screen, but just in case you didn't, Bad Videotape. And then right here, these red knobs are the mod knobs to add changes. And let's break this synthesizer down first. So this is a wavetable synthesizer. We have 3 synths that are our new digital synths in this lineup that look very similar. You may have seen the OP6, which is an FM synthesizer. We've done some streams, so you can go look back at some of our YouTube streams if that was of interest to you. Same size, same weight, same amount of keys, totally different synthesis. Then we also have the wave state, and then the Modwave. The wave state is a wavetable synthesizer, our wave state, our Modwave is our wavetable synthesizer, which is what we're looking at today, but our wave state is the wave sequencing synthesizer. and wave sequencing. This is the question. I'm just going to address it right now because everybody asked this pretty early on. What's the difference between the mod wave and the wave state? Well, the wave state uses wave sequencing, and just think of that synth as a sample-based synthesizer where you have layers of samples and you can adjust the layers to work organically in different times within each other, and they're ever evolving. That is the wave sequencing wave state. But today we're looking at the Modwave, a wavetable synthesizer. And the way you want to think of this synthesis is, if you're into analog synths, you know that there's a single waveform, a pure waveform to create that sound, right, in its oscillator. On the wavetable synthesizer, you have kind of like a playlist of single cycle waveforms. So on this synth, we can morph between different waveforms. So if I was using a triangle waveform and then a square waveform, you can do a crossfade between them. You can not and have an abrupt shift, I can't talk today, abrupt shift between the different waveforms. And that's essentially as simple as you can explain, I can explain wavetable synthesis. So let's then dissect how a performance is made on here, the architecture of the wavetable synthesizer. We have two layers that create the sound, layers A and layer B. On each layer, you are going to have a wavetable with two oscillators. Sorry, rewind. I'm just like blowing through this right now. We have two layers, and then within a layer you have a program. And within a program, you have two oscillators. And you can select a waveform, a blend of waveforms, or a sample, so a PCM. As you can see on this bad videotape performance, that's what the sound is called. I have a sample on layer A, oscillator 1, I'm using a sample, and then on layer A, oscillator 2, I do have an A-B split. If I press the B button, I can see that I have the oscillator mode for oscillator 1, an A oscillator, and then oscillator 2, another single oscillator mode. I'll play around with some other programs where you can see the shifts within the oscillator modes. Within the wavetable, it's a great visual right on the screen. I think sometimes hearing something and seeing something is a lot better than words, at least for me. Let's just hear it. So I won't talk too much about it until we start seeing it and hearing it. And then the mod knobs over here. So the mod wave, as we know, we have modulation now happening within our wavetables. If you're totally new to synths, modulation just meaning any sort of change. And then we have our mod knobs, so other changes that we can affect. So on this sound, I was affecting, we can either see it on our main performance screen, 1, 2, 3, 4, indicating mod knob 1, 2, 3, 4, or I can even hit the mod button and I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 and see what it's affecting. So we have filter balance on mod knob 1. So I just went from negative 100 to 100. That's our mod knob 1. Mod knob 2, we have frequency shift. You can kind of hear that more in the harmonic if I'm not talking over it and you listen very closely. And then 3, we have a detune, layer B is what we called that one. That one's a little bit harder to hear on this program, at least for me. And then 4, we were adding motion sequence. So that's another whole layer of modulation that we can get into as well. And this, when I look at some other programs with you, or other performances with you today, I'll also examine a little bit of the motion sequencing with the lights. That'll be a better visual. All right, let's just get into it. We have some other sounds to show you. I made a list of like 15 sounds today. How many sounds are on this preset already? We have 250, and then there are gigabytes of space for you to add your own sounds. So you can really have thousands of sounds on this synthesizer, which is super cool. But today I made a list of around 15. I don't even know if I'll get through all of them. Let's see. There's just so many good ones. I talked to you about the architecture of the sound, right? We said that it had 2 layers. On each layer you have a program that has 2 oscillators. And then you can have 1 or 2 wavetables, A or B, or the multi-sample in there. Sweet. Okay, one thing I didn't notice or mention yet is that it also, each performance has effects. And you can add effects per layer or on the overall performance. On the overall performance, you have reverb and EQ, and then on the individual layer, you can add delay, modulation effects like chorus or flanger, and a pre-effects like compressor, EQ, wave shaper, things like that. We talked about our mod knobs. Sorry, I'm going through my notes because I wanted to just get through the talking first because I'm totally going to just be playing. Oh, and our KAOSS Physics. So let's get into the next sound. The Modwave and wavetable synths are generally known for more aggressive sounds because of the shifting between 2 completely different waveforms. So even if you were thinking, I like to visualize, like if I had a triangle, like literally in geometry, and then a square, and you're trying to like shift between these 2 shapes, you're gonna cause some tension, right? So we're gonna get sounds like that as well. So let's get some more aggressive sounds. That was a nice soft one with the bad videotape. This one is called Deep Troy Bass. I just realized I haven't even looked at your comments. We do have product support in here and other product specialists and our brand manager. What's up, James? I see you here. So if you do have questions and I'm missing them, they are going to help you out. Love it. Where's everybody from? Did that question happen? Probably. If not, we got somebody from Brazil. I'm in Virginia. Okay, sorry, I was gonna do Deep Troy Bass. I'm very much a person and kind of out of it today, but we're doing it. It's music time. All right, here's Deep Troy Bass. Like I said, this is more of an aggressive, maybe more typical sound for a wavetable synth. Let's hear it. So I'm going to use the hold button so that way I can free up my hands a little bit to create some motion, some modulation in the wavetable. Watch the screen. You'll see I only have layer A on right now, which is going to be helpful just so we can differentiate the change in the waveforms, in the wavetable. Here's my blend. That's just my level. I'm on oscillator 2 now. So we have levels on each oscillator as well, just volume, right? So this is with oscillator 1 all the way down. You were just hearing the sub. I can turn that off too, right? So there's my oscillator 1, oscillator 2. Let's make the levels equal, add some sub bass, and you can change your sub. You can change everything on this, but you can change your sub to be a noise knob as well. That's why I say sub and noise. So I hope you heard me over that really crunchy, aggressive sound. Super gritty. I see someone Who said that? Another KORG person. Yeah, super gritty. So why is this cool? Why are we using wavetable synthesis instead of just an analog synthesizer with one single waveform? It creates movement almost more like natural hearing, natural acoustics, right? A natural hearing, a natural sound, you're not, even though we're using electronic instruments, in natural sound, nothing is just still and flat. I love analog synths because you get that warmth created in there, but you can create warmth in a wavetable and also some movement, some motion, closer to natural hearing. Is that and I think there's a huge fan base for wavetable synthesis because you are opening the doors to sonic exploration that goes way beyond and way deeper than a single waveform that is just stagnant. So that's the cool thing. And you're going to hear it here with a bunch of different presets. That one was a more like gritty bass tone. And I think we mentioned that you can input your, I think, who said it? You can input your own previously made wavetables into this. That's a common question for the people that are already super into wavetable synthesis. All right, let's go to another one. Los Angeles. Let's see. Oh, you know what though? Before I move away from this sound, I do want to show you some KAOSS Physics too. So this synthesizer has this awesome thing called KAOSS Physics to create even more modulation and motion. And it's this pad right here. If you look at the screen, you have a big circle. That's the preset sound right now. And that circle represents, let me see. What does that look like? That is definitely a hole. Okay, so, and then all these points can be assigned to different modulation points. I hope you're looking at the screen. And you can go into the settings here for any sound and have your friction, so how slowly it will move against the friction. So this is set to 40, but I could do it to like 0 and it can just like fly around with like no gravity point. We can change the bump height. So right now, like I said, it was a hole, but we can make it a hill. So you can see that this ball is having a harder time getting up like a hill, right? So if I just flung it, we can use this bump or this hill or hole, depending on how you set it, as an automatic motion point as I fling the ball, or I can actually maneuver it exactly musically how I want. So you have chance and randomness set by whatever parameters that you're setting. So in this case right now I said, oh, friction's going to be 40 and I actually want a hill and I want the hill to be in the center. And then everything else I want to be random. Let's see how the ball will move. Or you can hang on to the ball and then choose how you musically want it to move. Random. All right. And then I can move it. Let's hear that with some other sounds now. You heard enough of that one. Los Angeles 2049. Oops. So hit your performance button. Right now it is set in alphabetical order. The Modwave does also organize all of your sounds by categories, which is super cool. Like if I just, right now I'm on all, but if I was like, hey, I want a lead sound, I can push that button. But there's a bit of randomness to this too, because I don't remember if this is going to be a lead or what. I think it's a more gentle sound. Oh yes. Okay. KAOSS Physics is on. So when I'm playing, the ball's moving already, or I can maneuver it as I want for modulation. That one. Because I have so many, I'm going to roll through some of them. Syncolicious lead. Here's another more aggressive sound. If you're just now tuning in, I'm Natalie. Thank you for being here. We are looking at the Modwave. And all the ways that you can modulate and change your sound. Syncolicious lead. Here we go. I'm going to use my hold, show you some wavetable stuff. So, what if you wanted a bass line that had movement? Great sound. So, those higher harmonics. Here's next. Gentle Midnight Choir. I bet this is a more gentle sound. Gentler. Here we go. Extra breath, and you can name all these. You can assign all of your mod knobs, but again, I'm showing you today, for the sake of getting to hear so many things, how some of the preset performances are set. And you have all this modulation just right at your fingertips. Here's Air Sweep. gentle, low, aggressive. I'm going back and forth. That was my strategy today. Between some of the more, I think generally I always thought that wavetable synthesis was going to mostly be more aggressive, like bass sounds, but I just really love some of the softer, gentler programs on here as well. This one, giant low. Sorry, I forgot what I said. Ooh, okay. So you can see in our KAOSS ball situation here, we have the hill, the bump instead. That's why it's solid. And you, of course, like I said, you can always change that, but I'm curious how this will sound. There's less friction on this one. You can take a look. It's a start position. If I want, I can take that to 0, and then my ball can bounce into infinity. Let's get a higher tone. So nothing's going to stop this. Aggressive, yeah. Okay, let's see. Any questions? I think my team is covering the questions today, which I really appreciate since I've been kind of bad at looking at the screen. Hey, by the way, check out this KORG shirt. These are all new. You can find them. I hope somebody will throw in the link in the chat. I wanted to just showcase this sick shirt. Okay, gentle weirdness. Let's go. So again, we have mod knobs. These 4 red knobs can control and be assigned to literally anything on this synth. So if I wanted to control filter, I could do that. If I wanted it to control, literally, I don't know. I mean, like, it's hard to say because it's literally every sort of modulation that can happen in a synth can be assigned here. And for example, gentle weirdness, mod knob 1 is set to filter moves, add chorus, add sparkles or shimmering. Well, let's just hear it. turned the oscillator 1 position up, but it's not set to waves, it's a sample. So we have an electric piano sample. My bad. Okay, let's look at oscillator 2 in layer A. What's going on over here? A. These were some of my favorites from this morning. Let's see, house code. Ooh, I think I actually made a little Instagram sound bite with this one. Let's hear it. You had like good headphones or some sub bass so you could hear that when it kicked in. Love that. Okay, let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. What time is it? I think we can get through them. Checking if I missed any. Oh, where did we get the KORGware? Oh yeah, we have it. Playerware.com/KORG. There's a bunch of stuff. There's like water bottles that have different waveforms on it, and it says KORG. I really like that. I recently got that one too. Okay, sorry. Chit chat. Techno sevenths. You know, sometimes people ask me, which synth should I get for blank, blank, blank? And it's always, I mean, you can't go wrong with almost all of them. It always ends up being a kind of long explanation for me. This one you can really play musically. resonance. Okay, let's hold some chords. I love how cutting the sound is while still being super warm. Okay. Balance. Completely different. The second one. Add some rhythm. Takes out that pattern. Just reading. Hope you like these sounds. Mila's meditation. Oh, this one's good for, I told you I'd show you some motion sequencing too, where you can visualize it. So, what is motion sequencing? 2.0. It comes from wave states, wave sequencing 2.0 with the lanes and the modulation and turning the knobs to create that movement with motion sequencing. Let's see, what did I pick to Mila's meditation? You'll see what I mean. Words are words, but let's hear it and see it. Why I didn't study English and studied music. I'm like, I don't want to talk. No words. Let me just play some music. All right, here's Mila's meditation. Oh, yeah. So, all of this blue writing can be accessed with the shift button. Let's get the sequence view. So now you can see our lanes on the screen. Because each lane is a different length, you're going to have an ever-evolving, almost unexpected sense of modulation, because nothing's ever going to line up exactly. It's super easy to visualize how that is happening, right? I think it's pretty clear. Okay, let's get some to see the pitch as well, the sequencer steps. So these 16 buttons on the Modwave represent 3 different things. It can be the steps in the sequence, it can be your categories as well. Mesmerized. And then, of course, your set list. And that's on, I believe, all of the digital synths. The set list, just being able to program which presets you want in each button. So you would just hit that set list button. Okay, let's play with it. Motion speed. So what does the screen screen look like? The sequencer view look like? You can see our little dots are moving faster. Also, the steps in the sequence are moving faster. Slow that down. Okay, what else do we got here? Already pre-programmed filter. You hear those higher frequencies now? The higher resonance. Talk polarity. That up. Okay. So I told you there's just unlimited things. So we have our KAOSS Physics over here. We have our motion sequencing. We have our mod knobs. We have our wavetable synthesis. There's just a lot to continue to always transform your sound so you don't have a stagnant sound. So you're bringing both potentially a little bit of randomness to your sound creation to keep people intrigued, right? There's a sense of repetition that's always helpful so people can become familiar with sound and then their brains process it and eventually really like it. But then you want to keep them interested and keep listening by creating some sort of modulation and change, right? A little bit of both is so necessary. Nebula, here's another nice one. Yes, Christian, you are not wrong. It is very easy. I know I didn't go into setting up because I told myself today, I was like, I want to hear sounds. Let's hear sounds. We can show you what's already there, especially for people that are, want to take the instrument right out of the box and start playing. There's so much there, and still with the ability to make it your own. But you can go further and deeper by even creating it your own and your own voice by very easily changing what these mod knobs represent and just paging over to assign sound to physical movement. Nebula. 2 more. Here we go. Here's one where you can see that in the KAOSS Physics, we have a hill at the higher quadrant. You can already see I haven't played anything yet, but the ball's like kind of floating and away from it unless I push it up, and then you'll see the gravity. Like, look. Pull it back down from the hill eventually. Let's hear it. What is it? I'm just talking again. That's pretty. you're just joining us, we're near the end of the stream. They do get saved. I'm Natalie, product specialist for KORG. We were looking at the Modwave. It is our wavetable synthesizer, and it just has unlimited amounts of modulation. Somebody asked, what would I use this for? What maybe style of music? You can, as you have heard, if you're just tuning in or going to go back, often wavetable synthesis is known for more aggressive sounds because you're using wavetables where you're cycling through single cycle waveforms. So for example, I use the example of like having a triangle shape waveform and then a square, and when you're cycling through, whether or not it's a crossfade or abruptly shifting between the two waveforms, you're going to have more of an aggressive sound. However, on this synthesizer, as an ambient lover, there's quite a bit of gentle sounds as well that also create movement, just as wavetable synths are known for. So aggressive techno, bass sounds, leads, all here, but also textural, airy performances are also in this. So you can't really go wrong. I hate to sound like so political and meeting everybody's needs, but really you can go back and listen. There are so many options and possibilities to create a sound that you like for whatever genre you're working with. Let's see, last one. No, maybe two more. What do we got? Yeah, last one. I'll close out with one that's called Sadness in D minor. I like this because if you can't play, every key is in the right key. If you can't play keyboards, if you don't have your scale chops, it doesn't matter sometimes. It's what's amazing about synthesizers. Access to all. All right. Let's see. I can press anything and it's going to be in the right key. This one's another great one to showcase our motion sequencing 2.0 with our lanes. There you go. Constantly evolving in different time lengths, right? Different loop lengths, sorry. Thank you for being here. I'm Natalie. with the Modwave today, our wavetable synthesizer. Check out, if you have more questions, there is an older live stream. If you search Q&A with the developers of the Modwave, you'll see a lot more questions answered. If you didn't get yours answered today, it's a great stream. Check that one out. Thank you so much.